Celebrity contour with the what?
It's like contour, bronzer, blush, highlight.
I woke up like this. This is
That's
what I got to
what.
put on. Yeah.
What's up, Sammie G here?
So yeah, and Mykel Hawk right here. Um, so what I wanted to talk to Sammie about, since I had her here, and we're about to do some lab work. We're gonna do some work in the studio. Sammie is a very talented young artist that we had a chance meeting, and somebody who I'm working with because I believe in and think that she's very, very talented. So I'm excited about working with her. But that being said, the reason I wanted to talk with you is because there's this whole. Let me ask you this: Do you know who Rakim is?
No,
No, you don't know who Rakim is. Do you know who the Beatnuts are?
no.
Okay. Have you ever heard of what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to like Kendrick, J.
No, no,
Cole,
no,
Big
not artists.
Sean.
Like what kind of music?
Oh, like hype, like rap and
Rap, hip hop,
girly stuff too, singing, hip
Riri,
hop,
Riri,
R&B. Yeah, for sure.
pop R&B. So, do you know who KRS-One is?
No,
You don't know who KRS-One is? Never heard of Boogie Down Productions?
nope,
Do you know who Nas is?
kinda.
Okay, you kind of. So you've heard the name, but you haven't heard any music.
I've heard music, but I don't.
You couldn't tell me. You
I couldn't
couldn't
tell
name
you
a
a
song.
song.
Okay, let me see. Have you do you know who Biggie is?
Yep.
Can you name a Tupac song?
Yes.
What?
Um, as a rider.
Okay, all right. But so, and how old are you?
I'm 20.
20. So you're not a millennial, right? I
I
think.
am,
Are
right?
you? I, yeah. I think that the generation wide. I think millennials are just a little bit older than you now.
So there's like millennials and then Gen Z.
Oh,
Gen
Gen
Z,
Z.
Gen Z is 2000 and up, and I was born in '99.
I think that that's right. That's on the cusp enough to say that you're Gen Z, which is it's not a bad thing because yeah, it is actually better. I mean, this is the reason that I wanted to make a video and talk with you about it while I had you here because I've been thinking about this shit a lot because there's this whole this whole kind of generational war when it comes to hip hop, right? So you right away you're
Yeah.
shaking your head. You're like, yeah, I know what you know what you're talking
Yeah, mumble rap, and
about.
people
Right,
don't know
right,
how to write bars anymore.
right. And just who are those people that talk that shit like that? I mean, I've been guilty of doing that, but I was thinking about this, and like now as I'm hearing like now, mumble rap is it, to me it's not even hip hop. What do you yeah, I think the trap and that whole sound is like it's a whole it's its own thing. The reason that I think it kind of sucks for us is because they've basically not not the artists but really the media and the radio stations, the publications and things like that. They're putting this on the out there and saying this is hip hop, right? The best hip hop and R&B and blah blah, and then they're playing nothing but you know little Doodoo and little Kiki and uh, things. What's that one kid with the glasses and the nerdy kid? He was at the show that you went to. Uh,
Hey, Boogie with the hoodie.
no, no, no. But but it's somebody else. He's like he had one song like come on. Anyways, lately, right? There's been some of the artists that are some of the younger artists that I'm hearing, and I'm like, I think that they're coming. They're you can hear that they're growing as artists. You know what I mean? You can hear that it's not so amateurish anymore. That they're really, even in their own sound, they're really like starting to really become, heavily talented in the area that they do. Um, is YK Osiris? Is he a singer? See, name some artists to
Yeah,
me. Like I named some artists to you. Who I mean, if you say, obviously Rihanna, I'm gonna know who that is.
um,
But I mean,
well, I like Danny Lay. She's cool.
I don't know who the hell that is.
She makes trappish music, but it's nice. I like BB Rexa, Post Malone.
Everybody has heard Post
Yeah.
Malone already. That
Um,
motherfucker's rich.
yeah, 8 million is
Eight
net worth.
$8 million?
Yep.
Good for
Um,
you, man.
yeah. I like Lil Wayne and Wiz Khalifa and Big Sean.
I know who those guys are. Of
Yeah,
course. So,
they make really inspiring music.
I think that those artists that you just named, they're a little bit older, and
Yep.
they were in the millennial era,
Right.
but even back in like 99, 2000, like early 2000s, there was whack shit that was coming out that wasn't mumble rap. You know, Chingy. Have you ever heard of Chingy?
No.
No, that shit was awful. Hey, you remember Chingy? There's always been artists that do that was it. So, but mumble rap hit a particularly, it struck a nerve for the MCs or the real hip hop. You know why?
Why?
What do you think about that anyway? What do you think about when you hear like somebody who says, "Oh, this is real hip hop"? That ain't hip hop. It's bullshit. So let's see. So Jarrell, right? Jarrell, he just turned. Well, he's about to turn 19, and I let him hear Third Base, which was one of my favorite groups when I was growing up. Right? You never heard of Third Base, right?
No.
You're gonna before you leave here, you're gonna hear Third Base, right? But he listened to it and he was like, this is fucking weird. It sounds weird. Like, to him it sounds weird. To me, it sounds like the way hip hop's supposed to sound. But it, there's an evolution, and so it changes and stuff. So what do you think about when you hear that?
Yeah, I think the difference is definitely the sound of the beats and the content of the lyrics and the they just I feel like the rhyme schemes and just how hip hop the content of the lyrics and like the rhythm of the flows and
So when
his
you say when
flow
you say content, you mean like what they're saying, like
what
what they're actually what their message.
what they're talking about and then the type of work they do. Like I feel like back then the music was more like intellectual. Like I've done a lot of studying on Rap Genius on how to write raps and verses, and I think
Is that a
the
website?
yeah, Rap Genius.
Rapgenius.com.
Yep.
Okay, check them out.
Yeah, but I think they just sometimes it sounds a little bit the rhyme schemes aren't as good and
You mean today?
yeah
That
today.
then so yeah, and so like, and I think that's, but it's twofold why why these mumble rappers or some of the younger artists get a lot of shit from people like me is because they're not, well, there's a few reasons, because they're not putting any real effort into their lyrics, and really like into the craft. And yeah, I mean, it, it's supposed to advance. You know what I mean? It's supposed to evolve, not devolve, right?
Right.
Um, but like I said, whack shit has been around since the beginning. All right, you ever heard of MC Hammer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, back in the day, MC Hammer was considered whack, right? And now people know better than they wouldn't say that to his face, because it turns out that he was a fucking gangster, right? And but and if by some fucking chance MC Hammer sees this video, Don't come looking for me. I said that was back in the day. You were considered whack. I still had your album because everybody did. Can't touch this.
Yup.
Uh, but secondly, because they young artists tend to. this is where the generation that came before you and your generation differ. The generation that came before you, millennials, just chose not to even acknowledge the 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 the, the builders, the people that came before them, the people that did the music, that kind of paved the way and opened the doors for hip hop to even exist. They just kind of came in and was like, oh yeah, chains and bitches and this and that and money and every fucking song. I got this, I got that, I got money, I got bitches, I got and I smoke weed and guns in the video and weed and drinking right
Yeah.
and every song, and then would turn around and shit on, uh, 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 any old school artist like, oh, shut up, pops, or sit down, granddad, nobody, and that's highly disrespectful. At least they're not even acknowledged the artists that came before them, and so artists like me were like, fuck you, first of all, you're not even doing it right. To even step in, and the other part of that is that you could tell when something's inauthentic, right? And that shit is inauthentic. Like we were talking about the other day, these artists that have like Lambos and shit in their video, they're rented. They're rented.
I've been telling my friends that are my fans that sometimes I'm like, you know, the music game is a little bit more complex than you think, and when you think about making it, I'm like, I'm just gonna tell you an example right now. All these artists out here, they rent their stuff. They don't own that. And I'm like,
They even rent their chains, and it's like it's for what?
I'm saving my silver.
You know? Yeah. I mean, look, if you and if you didn't, then if you got an advance, and that's a whole other conversation, Sammy, is what's happening, because most of these artists are getting fucked in contract deals.
Who did that just happen to? Just the other day, there was I could look it up right now. There
Megan
was
the Stallion.
yeah, yep, I
Yeah,
saw
I
that.
just read that article.
Yeah, but there was a
They
response to that too.
they shelved her ass. Like you ain't gonna hear nothing from her anymore.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all now, you ain't gonna hear from Megan the Stallion anymore unless she uh, kisses their ass, and the more she talks that shit, the more damage she's doing, the more they're gonna be like, fuck that, yeah, because they hold them like that, and they can just go, yeah, you know what, and not allow her to release music at all. She can talk all the shit she wants on social media. It's a free country, but to release music and make money,
Well, what the article that I read said about it was that she signed that agreement, and that's why she's in the position that she's in. So that's what Mykel told me, that you have to look it over before you sign anything, because you know, and it would be a shame and be upsetting if you were making millions of dollars with your music, but it wasn't going to you. That wasn't your money, and that's exactly what happened to her. So
yeah, I mean, what? This is what these they know that young artists are out there, and they know that all they got to do is stroke your ego a little bit and tell you, oh yeah, you're gonna blow up, you're gonna be a star, you're gonna be on TV, you're gonna be this and that. Just sign here. You're all too eager to just run and sign that video because it's your dream, right? It's your dream. You're like, oh my god, my dream's gonna come true, and you might end up on TV. Look at Megan Thee Stallion. Everybody was talking about her in 2019. She didn't get to release her album. She was that's what she was trying to do at the beginning of 2020 is release her album, and now and before she released it, because things in her contract which weren't elaborated on to my knowledge came to light, where she was like, oh, I'm kind of getting fucked here. So she went to to the company and said, so yeah, so I'd like to renegotiate this.
oh,
And they were like, get out of my office and good luck with not releasing any more music. And so And that's the way it is. Typically, when you're signing a deal, it's not for a period of time; it's for a period of albums, right? So,
Right.
uh, you have to provide the company with so many releases, and it's up to them um, if they want to take the release, so they could literally shelve you. So these artists that you see that are blowing up, and you see them, the reason that they're high on radio, which these labels, they're paying. Payola is alive and well in 2020. Right? It's alive and well. It's just they've worked out different ways to do it. They're paying to get put on the radio station on airplay. They're paying to boost. That shit is fucking comedy to me. That record companies, like major record companies, are paying to boost Spotify plays. And then we know what a stream is worth these days.
Yep, that was, tough information to hear.
So back in the golden days, when we were actually selling a product, right? Like a
Yeah.
CD, like you had to go to the store, put your $15 down, and even out of that $15 that went to the store, the artist was seeing like 25, 35 cents. But that's better than fractions of a penny that are going on for
Yep.
streaming right now. So I heard something like, okay, what was it? If you're gonna make $40,000 a year, God, I can't remember the number now, but it was ridiculous. Oh yeah, yeah, it was 12 million streams. You're gonna have to do a million streams a month just to make $40,000 in a year. Which, like I said, right now I make 4 times that. So I can't even imagine like living off of $40,000 a year. Additional income, sure, but there's still, oh man, but there's still,
I couldn't see the return in that either, with the amount of money you'd have to spend to make that happen.
but you see artists, Little Tecca. That's what I was talking about earlier with the glasses.
That's weird. I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So um, but you see these artists like him, right? They're getting like tens of millions of plays. So they're making money. They're getting revenue. For an independent artist to get a million streams a month is difficult. It's not impossible. It's not at all impossible, but it's difficult, and it takes some navigating. It takes you got to know algorithms and formulas, and you got to study, and you got to read about a bunch of shit that's not real fun to read. You know what I mean? You got to study shit that's like fucking boring. If you didn't like studying in school, you're probably not gonna have any better time studying this shit. Because I've been reading some of it. But it's the new music industry, and it's gonna get better, I think. But this is an opportunity for independent artists. My suggestion is, and I would never tell anybody to not follow your dream, but my suggestion would be to not sign a fucking deal. Because the only time they're gonna come looking for you is when you already have shit going on for yourself. They're gonna come get you on your way up. So if you're already on your way up, why would you want to give some, like, cut somebody in a gigantic percentage of that for just for basically helping you boost it? Oh, you're already on your way.
Right. I mean, I've seen independent artists make it, like Chance the Rapper and Russ. But then I checked out their CDs at Bull Moose and I saw that they were signed. Like
So
their next album was signed
right.
to a deal, and that makes me wonder. I was
So
curious,
there
like,
is
what happened.
there is a thing that's happening, because like the whole there was some shine for being an independent artist, right? Or having the perception of being an independent artist. So what labels were doing is they would just not have their name on any of their product, but they were still backed by a major label. So like, little small label right here, not calling out any names, but little small label right here, right, would 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 be on the name of the website or the product or whatever, but it'd be Sony behind it. But Sony's name wouldn't be anywhere on it, or Warner Brothers, or Universal, or one of those that would be big money behind it because they put they put $1 million sometimes, $1 million or more just in advertising. That's how come somebody comes out of nowhere. You're like, where the fuck did this person come from? You have $1 million in advertising, you're gonna see your face.
Yeah, that's what it takes.
It
Everything
doesn't
online takes $1 million.
it doesn't matter if your music is good. It doesn't matter if you it doesn't it nothing. None of that matters. All that matters is the money, right? You got $1 million behind you that you're just willing to throw down. You see, the record companies like the big ones, the big four, right? Universal and Warner Brothers and Sony, and they know that when they throw that $1 million down, they're going to get a return on their investment. But they're gonna get a return on their investment big. They're gonna get it first. They ain't worried about the artist. The artist is a money making ploy for them. They're just But a lot of times they're just happy to be famous. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's what I told you. I said I wouldn't care as long as I'm like doing shows and living my dream. But then you said you'd be pretty upset, if you made all this money,
You
but you
wouldn't
didn't
you wouldn't at
it.
first. You wouldn't be
No,
upset at first because you'd be like, it's happening, and you'd be too busy, because yeah, they're doing appearances and going to the Breakfast Club and going to Hot 97, and they're all over the place, and people are screaming their name, and they're living that life. But there's a shelf life to it. Because the record company is gonna discard them and move on to the next little techa, right?
yeah, and as a musician, there is a very small shelf life to being a musician. But
But do you know that Rakim is still making records, is still selling out concerts, still selling out tours, still recognized as one of the greatest MCs and one of the greatest hip hop artists ever. And actually, he just released a book in 2020, and he's in his 50s, and he's been going since 1986. So and KRS-One, I just went and saw him in concert here. When was that, babe? When I went and saw KRS-One. Yeah, last summer I went and saw him, and the show was sold out. He was incredible. He's still releasing music, um, and he Boogie Down Productions and KRS-One have been around since the dawn, since like the beginning of rap music.
that's why you gotta be a legend. There is an artist who, what's Bjork? Okay, Bjork is like a Swedish, I think, or an Icelandic singer.
Yeah,
She's, I think, like 40 or 50, and she still makes music.
yeah.
People love her.
Yeah, she's got a fan base, right? Just much like Rakim, and like I said, you've never heard of Rakim. You don't know one single song by him, right? Or, but
Uh, does Rakim have a last name? Or just
Rakim
Rakim?
Rakim Allah.
I don't know. Probably not.
No, but like he used to be Eric B and Rakim was the name of the group early on, like in the early '80s. In the early '80s, it was Eric B and Rakim, but he's been doing a solo thing. But I think that Little Tecca, you're not going to hear about Little Tecca in a couple of years
Why? Why not?
because they're going to because people are going to be moved on to the next thing,
Yeah. But then there's, Drake. Drake's loved.
right?
How did they get that position of being a legend? Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is gonna be famous for a long time.
Right. But you're kind of we're not talking about hip hop anymore. We're talking about like Billie
Oh,
Eilish
this
and,
is
and
like
Bjork and stuff. But
pop
that but
and
that's
stuff.
but yeah, and I think it's different, when it comes
Oh,
to hip hop.
influencers.
But yeah, but the reason, if you ask me, okay, there's a lot of people who disagree, and people shit on Drake. I realize that. I think that he's one of those he's one of those artists that flip flip back and forth and does it successfully, because he released two albums that I thought were dope. And I think like well, I know because I've heard him. I know when he wants to, he can he can kill it. He's impressive. You know, I mean, I did not like the first shit that he came out with, the fucking, best I ever had or whatever that was and shit. He's a pretty good singer, as well as a rhymer, but he scores better than Tekashi 6ix9ine in artistry, in talent. You're talented, all right? And but there are people that are straight up not fucking talented whatsoever. That 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 maybe possess the ability to get there, but they're in too much of a hurry. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking the time to hone their craft, instead of really like getting better, they're just trying to boom present themselves. And when you hear it, it's like, no, that's not good. That's not good. And they might have a hit. That's why I talk about my song Elephant, right? They might have a hit. People might dance to it. They might blow up on the radio. But then when they're done with it, they're not going to be going back to that artist because it was a good artist, because the artist was talented. Um, Somebody like Drake, you can, because that sound, you can get that sound from the next artist. The next artist is gonna have that same fucking sound, the same beats, the same flow, the same cadence, the same delivery. It's gonna be just as awful, right? Drake, you can only get that sound from Drake. So he set himself apart, and many of the artists that are legends and stuff, they set themselves apart, and they say, I can only come up with that. But I digress a lot, because the point of this was that um, so I was thinking about rock music, right? Because I think that I'm pretty much done shitting on trap rappers. Maybe, as long as uh, as long as something. Well, if you're gonna disrespect the legends, then fuck you. Then I got something for you, right? You're gonna disrespect. You're not even gonna listen or go or learn, like Sammie over here was going on rapgenius.com and learning about lyrical past, right? That's the bar part. If you're just like, man, I ain't got time for that. I'm over here with the bitches and the chains and the motherfucking this and that.
Sometimes I don't even have it.
Then whatever, clown shoes. Then you do what you do. But so with rock music, all right. When rock music came out, it was just rock music, right? And then after time, hip hop's been around since like late '70s, and so it's diversified, right? After so much time, it's not the same. It's not just one thing anymore. It's not just the one sound. It's now it is expanded into all these different sounds. Boom bap is still alive. Boom bap is not old music. Boom bap is a style of hip hop. It's like a branch of it, just like trap, and just like I guess there's dance shit, and there's R&B oriented shit, and there's reggae shit and hip hop, and there's all kinds of different facets. But I think that that's what needs to happen. Hip hop needs to diversify and stay in your lane. Don't call it what it is. That's why when my music I'm putting out, I'm saying this is boom bap. This is new era boom bap.
So claim the genre.
Because
Kind of
it's a
see what it
different
is.
genre. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different
The
genre.
subgenres.
And besides that, did you know that hip hop is not a music? It's not a fun. Hip hop is the culture. It's not a genre of music. Rap is the genre, right? Hip hop consists of 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 a lot more than just rap music. A lot more than just rap music. Hip hop as a culture is the DJ, the break dancer, the b-boy, right? The graffiti writer, the
Freestyler.
well, the MC, yeah, the MC, the freestyle, the beatboxer, right? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Um, it's that's what hip hop is. Hip hop is the culture, and that was already determined long before, even before I was born. That was determined. All right, these motherfuckers can't come around 40 years later and just go, yeah, I'm changing it. That don't exist anymore. No, it still exists. You can call it what you want, but it still exists. Hip hop music makes sense because this is the music of hip hop, right? But hip hop itself is not a genre. It's a culture. Rap is the genre. That being said, I think that rap has taken a lot of different pathways, and the the same people who like um, um, Lil Tecca, I keep bringing his ass up because he's so funny to me, are not gonna, or uh, teriyaki uh, teriyaki 69.
Teriyaki. Do you just call him that?
Yeah, teriyaki 69. The people that like those artists are not even going to know who Rakim or Nas or KRS-One are. And if they did listen to them, they're really not gonna feel it because it's not their shit. You know what I mean? But there's still artists that are repping boom bap and that are doing shit on a extraordinarily high level. Have you seen that Royce the 5'9" freestyle video that just he just did? Do you know who Royce the 5'9" is?
No. Is there like a? Did he work with other artists and stuff? Who would he work with?
Eminem.
Eminem. Wow, I like Eminem.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you heard of have you heard of Slaughterhouse?
I've heard it, but I have no idea.
Well, he was a part of He was a part of Slaughterhouse also with Crooked Eye, Joe Buttons, and him and Joel Ortiz. It was four of those guys that did Slaughterhouse. Ever heard of any of those? Probably Joe Buttons, right? No. God damn.
And Dre.
But see, is Dr. Dre? There's a lot of people that know who these artists are, so it's cool. I get it. We don't need, you know what I mean, that audience to if that audience comes around and happens to discover boom bap or shit like that and they dig it, cool. Maybe that brings them to this. But if they don't, it's just like, it's not my shit. It's because that's not what they listen to the music for. They got into listening to the music because they like the beat and they want to dance, and you know they like the guns and the weed and the bitches and that shit does not contain that. You know what I mean? It's different. It's very different. It's intelligent.
Right, and storytelling.
Yes.
Right. Not
Yeah.
just flexing.
It's flexing too. That's
Well,
what
that's
it's
too flexing. Okay.
because that hip hop rap came. It was battling. It was like, I'm fucking better than you. My whole crew will
Yeah.
fucking eat your whole crew. But they proved it not by how many Lamborghinis were in the background. They proved it by their lyrical skill. And they proved it by their lyrics and their delivery, and that was it. No, it didn't matter your chains, it didn't matter nothing. You had two rappers that were face to face, and it came down to who thought they were better lyrically, and so you were striving to be the best lyricist possible, and then you had to have balls about it and be like, nobody's fucking with me. Who's got next? And you had to carry yourself like that. So so they carry themselves like that, but they would get eaten up. They can't freestyle. I've seen them attempt. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I would be embarrassed. I've seen some of y'all go on the radio station and freestyle, and I mean, bless your heart for trying. Bless your little heart for trying.
Do you think like it's true that some people are writers and some are freestylers? I mean, some have both, but some are stronger than the other. Because I've always found myself better as a writer, even when I used to like years ago with my friends, but I would always write my bars and they would freestyle them. But I would still slay them, but I would write it first.
Yeah. I think that yeah, I think that there, but I think it's only because it's what you spend more time doing.
Yeah,
That what you're gonna. I've known people that are not cannot write verses, right? But they can freestyle their ass off.
right.
And I've known people that could do both, and I've known people that can't freestyle for shit, but can write some bars down. Um, I'm not. I used to be a lot better at freestyling years ago, but that was when I did it a lot. You know what I mean? Like we
Right.
were always in a cipher and doing it. So, and I think it's a skill that diminishes if you don't exercise it.
Yeah, I used to do it every day at my apartment with my friends,
Yeah.
and
And the more you do it, the better you get at
we
it.
were getting
The
good.
quicker, the clever you get.
Yeah, one time I spit mad bars at a party, and everyone was like, "Oh," but I probably couldn't do that again. I mean, right now at least.
You were in the zone anyway, a
Yeah.
little tilt and stuff. And for some reason, a little tilt, a little that helps, helps the freestyles flow. Which brings me to the last and final point of this reason that we shit on this music, is because and not all young artists are doing this, but but a great number are, and not just young artists. Young-minded artists that are adults that should fucking know better. Um, Talking about drugs constantly in their music. I saw a video of Juice World, and don't get it fucked up. This music, rap music, is powerful. It's powerful. It changed my life. It changed the course of my fucking life. It changed the way I dress, the way I look at things, the way I look at the world, what I do, right? The, Everything. And I know it affects everybody the same way, young or old, whatever. It's just been that way. It's powerful because it speaks directly to you. There's really no music like that. All other music has been metaphorically, like, you know, this music speaks right to you, like in a live and direct way. And again, when it's authentic, it's one thing. When motherfuckers are talking about a street life and they're from the street, you can tell, you can hear it, right? When they're not, you can also hear it. Just so y'all know. But well, those that know anyway. 12-year-old, 13-year-old kids, they can't tell, but we can. That's why y'all are fake to us. But talking about drugs is like that's a cool fucking thing. Is to me super fucking reckless and 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 bad. And I'll get to the thing about Juice WRLD because kids are listening to this music, especially the top 40 trap stuff, the little techers of the world, the artists that are really getting put out there by the companies, really getting put out in the forefront. Talking that gang shit, everything gang gang. You know, you're faking, straight faking. There's an artist who came out with a big fucking song talking about popping Percocets. I might be giving that away. And drinking lean, non-stop, non-fucking stop in his lyrics. Never did that shit. He doesn't fucking do it. He doesn't drink fucking lean. He doesn't pop Percocets. I'm not saying he never did, but he sure doesn't fucking do it like he said in his songs, right? But and got kind of called out for it because he was trying to, like, he didn't want to admit it. How corny is that? And this dude is a grown man. This man is in his 30s, perpetrating like a youngster, and then saying, yeah, I do the drink the lean, the Percocet because it's trendy. So the video I heard from I saw an interview with Juice WRLD, and he was talking about how the problems that he had with drugs, and how when he heard this artist that I'm talking about, that he heard this particular artist, that he was only like 12, and he was like 12, 13 years old when he heard this artist, and he wanted to get his hands on some lean so bad. He said he heard a song in particular. The first time he heard that song, he played it over and over and over, and he knew, even though he had never ever done it, that he wanted to drink some. He wanted to drink some lean. Lean is an opiate. It's a highly addictive narcotic. It's not alcohol. It's not something that it's something that your body will become physically dependent on and will kill you. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Juice WRLD. Is he and many other people before him. When we lost Mac Miller, that was a blow because I thought he was one of the most talented artists to come out in the last in the last couple decades. But yeah. So so Juice WRLD wanted to he heard this song from this motherfucker who was just saying it to sell records, to be trendy, and really went out to live that life and do that. And I guarantee you, Juice WRLD is not the only body on this dude's name. And I think that is probably about the wackest fucking shit that I can think of. More than anything else that's whack, I think that right there is about the wackest fucking weakest ass shit that I can think of. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's good to
Pisses me off.
I like idolize drugs, and because if you're an artist, people are listening to your music and they take you seriously, and sometimes they idolize you, and with your music you can change the world. And if you choose to be, say shit like that just to get views, because you think that's what's popular, then that's very irresponsible as a leader. Um, I think I think there's an exception to talking about drugs if, it's more of an experience of like addiction and more in like an educational way. Like if, the song can be good and talk about that. Like Mac Miller used to talk about his stuff, but he did it in a more negative way.
He did. He did talk about it a lot, and he didn't always do it in a negative way. He did it, but he did. Yeah, he did. It was dark. It was always dark. Although he talked about his struggles in it. Um, but um, but that's not all he talked about. And he was really struggling with that. So what else is he going to write about? You know what I mean? He wasn't doing it to be pop trendy, because that's what hey, if I do this, then that's the new fucking the new wave is popping this and drinking that and sipping that, and they caught that from the artists who were really doing that chopped and screwed shit in Texas, that were really DJ Screw was one of the first artists that we lost from from drinking promethazine, and he was one of the ones to popularize it. And they had that slow chopped and screwed sound, and it was it was with their shit. I didn't really dig it, but I mean, but he was that was his life, and he was really on it, and that's why he was talking about it. This motherfucker is still walking the earth, spending his fucking money. But Juice WRLD's gone, and probably a whole bunch of other artists too. It's there's been plenty of artists that have had drug and alcohol problems. It's a part of life. It happens to a lot of people that don't talk about that shit because they're aware of their social responsibility as an artist. Because kids are gonna be listening to your music, and if this music was powerful enough to influence you, then it's gonna be powerful. You can be powerful enough to influence them, and there's a responsibility in that, I think. And if all it is to you is a fucking check, then then get the fuck get go fucking do something else. Rob Banks, because you're whack. You're whack. You're weak, and that's the reason. That's the disconnect. But again, I think that I'm hearing artists now coming out that are not doing that, and I think that we all need to call out those artists that do on your from your level, your age group, the generation X. No, that's Generation Z, Gen Z. So Gen Z or millennials, when you hear people doing that, you know, shit on them, call them out, because it could be your brother, your sister, or your uncle or your aunt or maybe your child that falls into believing that horse shit and then fucks up. How many besides Mac Miller, Lil Peep?
Um, I mean, I know I don't know. I know older artists like Amy Winehouse freaking died, and Whitney Houston, right? Whitney
Do
Houston.
you know how much alcohol you got to drink to die from alcohol, like alcoholism?
Well, she was like
At 27 years old?
Amy Winehouse was also like bulimic, and it like failed her heart, and she also like did other drugs
Yeah,
and
she was
stuff.
she was a
So her
mess.
heart just her
Yeah,
heart just and I think that could have to do with the pain and the pressure and all that. But
yeah.
I don't know. Just saying like she's another one that died of drugs and alcohol and stuff.
Yep, yep. There's been a lot of them, but to glamorize it and to like to don't glamorize it. Don't don't name songs that glamorize it. It's not a cool fucking thing. It's not a good fucking thing, you know. And I'm not over here all high and mighty and shit because I've struggled with my own demons. But we don't need to. That shit is already out there. We don't need to make it worse. You know what I mean? And you motherfuckers are making it worse. Some of y'all motherfuckers are making it worse. And those bodies, guarantee you, this dude I'm talking about got bodies on his conscience. So I hope he fucking chokes on his money personally. I hope that every time he goes and spends a fucking dollar, that he's haunted by hell for the rest of his fucking walking days. Me personally, because that was about the weakest, wackest, corniest shit I've ever heard. And you don't belong in the fucking hip hop game. You don't belong in rap. You don't belong in humanity. You're a fucking sellout. You know what that is? Sellout?
Kind of. I don't know. People told me never sell out, Sam.
That's just doing whatever you're told to do for the check, or or for
Oh,
the fame.
becoming like a puppet just so you can be
Yeah.
your dreams can come true.
And nowadays, you're not even getting the money for it, and you're still being a
Yeah.
puppet, and you're getting fucked in the end. So be independent because uh, it's not that hard. If you read the internet, all you got to do is get on a fucking computer, and you can go to. It's not gonna be easy, but you could learn this business. You can get your business orders in a fair. If you want to be an artist, before you put your fucking first song that you've ever recorded in your entire life out for the world to hear, maybe you should make another song. Maybe you should make a bunch more songs before let your people hear it. Let people hear it. But you get one chance to make a good impression. And people are gonna be like, oh, that motherfucker, because you know, build your shit up. Don't listen to your friends and family because they're gonna lie to you about your music. Don't ask them what they think because they're gonna tell you it's good because they don't want to see you upset. And also, don't get fucking upset if somebody says your music isn't good. It's an opinion. I don't like. There's a bunch of fucking music I don't like. Do you like everything? Do you like every song that was ever created?
No.
No. Who does, right? So music is a matter of taste and opinion. That's why, my opinion is just my opinion. It don't fucking matter. It's just another opinion. And you might have a different opinion than my opinion. And that's cool. You're entitled to that, and you're entitled to listen to whatever the fuck you want to listen to. But I wanted to kind of break down that the generational gap. And see, me and Sammie, we don't have that because we we vibe, and like I said, she's a talented artist. She's not a whack artist. If she was, she wouldn't be sitting here. But work on your shit. Stop talking about fucking drugs that you're not doing, and if you're doing them, go to fucking go to fucking rehab. Get off of them and don't talk about it. Read your contracts. If you're gonna sign a fucking contract, have a lawyer look it over. Stop looking for a fucking manager when you don't have anything to manage.
Oh, backs, yo. That's one of the first things I learned. Actually, it was like if you want a manager, you have to have something to manage. That's I learned that like a few years ago.
You're just gonna make yourself look stupid. You're making yourself look stupid as fuck, getting on social media and reaching out to these to these people that are just they're getting inundated with these messages, and they're just like, what the fuck? They go to your fucking page and you got fucking 800 followers. Fam, that ain't gonna do it. That ain't gonna do it. 2,000, 3,000, that's not gonna do it. You're gonna have to be making big moves. And then, like I said, like I told you, Sam, they'll come and find you. If you're doing the right things, they'll come and find you. You won't have to go and find them. But again, if you know your shit, by the time they come and find you, the reason they're coming to find you is because you're on your way up. So if you're already on your way up, fuck you need them for? You don't anymore. It's a new day. It's a new day. The internet has changed everything. That's the reason my old ass is still fucking rapping. Because there's hope. There's a chance. But you gotta be smart. And you can't be whack. No, you can't be. Maybe that'll be another subset of hip hop. Boom bap, trap, wiggity whack. There's whack boom bap. I'm sure I could think of probably some. Like I said. Anyways, it's Mykel Hawk.
Alright, Sammie G.M.F.
G.M.S.
Sammie G, motherfucker.
We're about to get. Make some music. We're gonna lay some tracks, and then homegirl's going to the studio tomorrow. MykelHawkMusic.com. The album is streaming right now. It's called G.M.S. Grown Man Shit, because the album is for grown man. I'm talking this grown man shit. And I don't expect you to understand it. Those of you that do understand it, cool. Get with me. If you don't understand it, cool. Get with them. Just be smart about what you listen to. And by the way, fuck Donald Trump. Motherfucker.